have to come arrest Alex Jones. They hit one button, the internet shuts off. They hit one button, TV shuts off, but it's not going to shut off. You go to Infowars.com when this happens, it's going to direct you to WhiteHouse.gov and all their propaganda and all their BS. So when they take all your pension funds, when they bankrupt the economy, when they set up open world government, which they've stated they're doing, and bankrupt you, you can't do anything. GlennBeck will be on TV, though, going, oh, none of this is happening, or, oh, it's for your own good. You can trust me. Total takeover of the internet. That's coming up later. Okay, I've covered some executive orders. Now I want to get more into the FEMA camps themselves and how they're set up versus the straw man arguments where Beck and others point to people that have wrongly identified some installations as FEMA camps when they aren't. Stay with us. All right, we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Let's continue with the news and information. Why is the text of H.R. 645, the National Emergency Centers Establishment Act, so important? This tells you what the camps look like, where they've been set up, what's been done. And it says 6 major camps across the country with hundreds of sub-region camps. Now, if you watch my films and read the documents we put out, that's exactly what we said the camps are and how they operate, because we reverse engineered all this. The camps are already built. It's kind of like they say, oh, we passed a law the NSA can spy on you without having it be a felony. But by the way, we've been doing it for 30 years. It's when they want to openly announce they're doing it that they then pass a law. And they say, oh, all these shut down military bases that they've been keeping refurbished and putting barbed wire facing in and putting in showers and bunks. And we knew that those were to be the FEMA camps. Because in the FEMA documents and the congressional leaks and from people that worked at the camps, we knew, and we would list the camps. Then we noticed when it was declassified in 97 that the very camps that had been, quote, decommissioned under the base closure, because they'd said back in the 80s under Rex 84 they were going to use the camps in Congress. So we said, you want to know where the camps are? They're old military bases, and they're old POW camps from Italians, Germans, and Japanese. Guess what's in here? Guess what's in the bill? They're only legalizing and publicly announcing what they've already set up. And it dovetails with this. Now, GlennBeck will not talk about this. Civilian Inmate Labor Camp Program, Army Regulation 210-35. Now, this grows all the time. In fact, put it up on screen, guys, and just roll through the pages for folks. Now, this is the big piece of news. This is to establish setting up prison labor camps, negotiations with correctional systems representatives to establish prison camps, governing criteria, civilian inmate labor camps, policy statement, governing provisions for operating civilian inmate prison camps on Army installations, procedures for establishing a civilian inmate prison camp on Army installations, infrastructure, inter-service, interagency, and interdepartmental support agreements, working with local police at the FEMA camps, incident reports, media coverage, any media coverage involving inmates participating in civilian inmate labor camp program. But see, FEMA never has to take over the media with their FEMA control boxes and all radio, TV, and cable, and now the internet, because it's willing accomplices in the media. But now the alternative media has gotten so big, the congressional hearings, the Violent Radicalization Act, and all of them are saying they're going to shut down 9/11 Truth. They're going to shut down pro-gun groups. They're going to shut your websites down, and they are stating it. The New York Times stated it. For your own good, they're going to do this. Europe's announcing it. Australia's announcing censorship of anyone critical of the government. These criminals are going for broke, robbing and looting everything, so they are moving. So you'll never hear GlennBeck talk about this. This sucker was set up in 1986 at 12 camps. It's since doubled to 24. You want to read the camps? You can read the installations. In fact, pull up the page that's got the installations listed. Red River Army Depot, Anniston, Alabama. You know, it goes through them. And from 86 to 97, secretly at labor camps, U.S. citizens, non-military prisoners, were worked on FEMA camps. Now, this was beta testing. They would tell them, you'll be given leniency and only serve half your sentence if you agree to labor. The minute you don't, you'll be sent back on these military bases, but you can't tell anybody national security. See, they were testing, can we keep camp secret from local police or get them to work with us? Can we keep camp secret from the media? So for 11 years, they kept this sucker secret. Reagan, Bush, Clinton. And then Clinton declassifies it and says it's a good thing in 97, and they double the number. So here it is, the big kahuna. This is just one section of these, training the troops, training the infrastructure, creating the larger cadres to expand the archipelago of gulags. And you can go and read all the locations, do a Control F on the document and just type locations or installations, and it'll pull it up on screen. I had a highlighted copy of this, and I can't find it around the office, so I just printed it again. Because I want people to, you want a list of places these camps are at? I mean, we'll give you a list. I mean, you can go to army.mil right now and read this for yourself. But see, GlennBeck won't tell you about this. We'll come back, get into the preparation for the camps, how they're going to use the troops against the people with the police, mass graves, and a lot more, how all this ties together. Stay with us. So, civilian inmate labor camp program, locations all across the United States, declassified in 1997 for 11 years. Non-military prisoners being held at labor camps. And you never heard about it in the news. You never heard about it in the media. We had secret copies of this when I first got on air in about 95, 96. With just the cover sheet of it, and people made fun of us and didn't believe it. Then it was declassified. This is from Army.mil. Now, what am I predicting GlennBeck's going to do tonight? What have I been predicting for weeks he's going to do? He is going to come out and say, look at this. This is just a regular prison. And they're taking photos of it and saying it's a camp. Oh, look at this. There's a kernel of truth. They have introduced a bill for during emergencies to have FEMA places for folks to go. I mean, they've got to do that, you know, like Katrina. Oh, look at this. This is an Army training facility for a refugee camp simulation. Oh, look at what I mean, I know how they operate. I know how Popular Mechanics operates. I mean, I was right about GlennBeck setting you up when he said he was going to expose the FEMA camps, and I said, you watch, he's going to debunk them. I understand these people because he reads off a script, ladies and gentlemen. I know the sheet of music he's singing off of. I know the next line in the chorus. This stuff is scripted. So you've got the civilian inmate labor camp program going strong. We've gone over the executive orders. Then we have preparation. How are they preparing the public? When I saw this at the time, I saw Tommy Franks and Cigar Aficionado. I saw Tommy Franks on CNN, Fox, MSNBC go, gee, I'm real sorry about this, but one more big terror attack, we're going to have a military form of government and martial law. I'm real sad about that, but that's what the American people are going to demand. That's the only thing that'll keep them safe. Now, you don't expect him to come out and say, gee, we're going to have a military dictatorship. Militaries throughout history love taking over societies 99% of the time, and America's just been in the exception. No, he's got to introduce it like, gee, shuck, I'm real upset, but it is the only thing that'll keep us safe. The Constitution won't survive a WMD attack. And I said at the time, I said, he is part of the Pentagon's billions in fake news. That's illegal. The General Accounting Office has already ruled that they're paying off reporters and people to go on TV. I said, I bet my bottom dollar Franks is being paid off. Then it came out in a congressional hearing, $555,000 to make less than a dozen media appearances calling for that. Over $500,000 for Tommy Franks to go on TV and say, only thing that'll keep us safe is martial law. I know it sounds tough, but it's what the people want. When it's not what the people want. And folks go, I guess he's right. And the idea is introduced. I mean, I know the enemy, folks. I constantly study him. And I'm on record predicting that. Secret FEMA plan to use pastors and pacifiers for martial law. That's our article before it was declassified and made public. So that's part of the preparation. Guardsmen to conduct urban training at Arcadia in April. This is going on scaled back now. It says in this article, going door to door, asking if they can search homes looking for weapons. And they practice raiding the local gun shop. And this is for domestic operations. Let's go ahead and get ready to play this clip. InfoWars story. We actually have the state rep coming up next hour. He couldn't come on right now. InfoWars story on illegal Tennessee checkpoint prompts action by governor. Friday, listeners pointed out local news saying the Army was going to be out, regular Army running checkpoints, searching citizens with police. The governor got called. Our listeners called. And the governor said, we're not going to do this, and it got canceled. This is suddenly happening everywhere. Oh, the Marines are doing a checkpoint for drunks. Oh, the Army showed up at the mass shooting. Oh, see, as they announce